Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey chapter 236. It is the last day of the week, aka the Buster Cannon workout. I am feeling great. I'm feeling fan-fucking-tastic right now. I am on the way to the gym right now, and I'm hoping to get out very soon. But anyways, to the main subject for today. Today's subject matter is based on an Instagram message that I got today from an old friend of mine who said, "Hey, do you do any more directing? Because I have an idea for a video." And I was like, you know, that's something I haven't done in a while. It's an itch I haven't scratched in quite some time. So I wouldn't mind listening to you out. I wouldn't mind hearing it out. And that got me thinking to all the old times that I used to make videos before this channel, before even streaming, when I used to make just videos with my friends, and we'd all make different videos, whether it be music videos or like skit videos, fake movie trailers, any of these things. So I was always very curious about what to do, how to do it, and all of that stuff. I used to be the director a lot of the times because my house would be the place where we'd end up doing a lot of the stuff. So this was a very fun and good time. I very much enjoyed it. It passed, obviously, because there were a lot of different complications. You know, life just got more and more complicated as things progressed. But it is something I wouldn't mind doing again. And I wanted to take this episode to talk about it because it's something that I do enjoy doing. It was very fun when it happened, and there were so many stories and so many things that happened in there that I was like, okay, I could probably talk about this for a little bit. I wasn't expecting this, I'll be honest. This was such a out of the blue thing. But did any of those things become popular? No. But did I learn a lot from those things? Yes. And there was a lot of learning from every single thing that I did there, and I really did enjoy it. It was very, very, very nice to do those things. Like, I don't regret it at all. And they were good times. I mean, really, they were always good times because we were just hanging out with friends at the end of the day. It was at least that part. I wanted to get more into how different it is from here versus doing it in like a director's seat, all the things that would go wrong, and maybe just a couple other things and details and such like that. But I'll say this for now. It is a stark difference from doing this versus this channel versus what it was to like film like skits and things like that. Because here, it's very casual. I can say whatever I want. If I fuck up, I fuck up. It's just I'd edit it out. That's it. That's it. Nothing too crazy. But for the other one, it's like, all right, take 2. All right, take 3. I didn't like that take. Take 4. All right, that take was good, but let's get one more just in case if you can do that last one again, you know, like things like that, where it's just interesting where you'll have those certain situations like that come up, and it's like, okay, it's cool, it's just different, it's a different style, editing's different, everything's different, and I'll probably talk about that, but I do miss those times, and I think this is the perfect time to maybe just dip my toe back into that. It's just a little bit of fun. Why not? It's been such a long time, and we'll get into more details and all that other stuff when we get on the inside. This was also, by the way, the second time I've recorded this, because the first time I forgot to hit record. Alright, so started this day off with leg curls, which were pretty nice. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand. I guess old days of filming. My goodness, this was such a long time ago. The video clip that you saw at the beginning of this entire video was part of that one that I made. This all started, I want to say even before then, this all started back in the day in like the early 2000s when Jackass and CKY was becoming a thing. My brother and his friends would record them skating all the time and doing random shit, and that really started off that entire process. I never really got into it myself until later in life, where I decided to try to make some home movies and things like that. And then it wasn't until later that me and a group of friends all got together and decided to make a few short random videos. I guess they were skits and or other things. We all had a different thing. So our idea was kind of like we all write one and then we all film it and star in each one and then release it slowly but surely. We never actually got to the releasing part of it, but that was just because the world kind of petered out, like many things that can happen in the world, but that's not that big of a deal. Most of the time it was, to go in chronological order, we did end up doing, I think, 4 videos, and then we had to stop during the 4th one because there was a giant snowstorm that made it so like none of us could travel for like a good week plus, and that really killed the momentum on doing the rest of them. I believe there was one more after that, and then that was it. But that last one, I don't even think I finished editing personally. I was the editor on a lot of these as well as the director for many of them. Friend Jose, thank you, shout out Jose, he was the one who actually ended up buying the equipment. He bought a camera and a microphone, which we used, but I ended up keeping it because he was like, you just keep it at your house, it's whatever. So I ended up knowing how to use it. Basically, I learned how to use all of that stuff and learned how to edit because I was the only one that had Sony Vegas at the time, so, and learned how to use it. But I had some editing experience a little bit before that. I had to learn a lot on the fly, learned a lot about lighting, learned a lot about audio, because audio was a nightmare back in the day. Very different from today's videos. It's very easy in comparison. These learning experiences were quite nice when carrying it off into other things like streaming, which I did right after this. And then after that, these types of videos. These are a completely different style of video than the ones that we used to do before. Before it was writing, a lot of setup, a lot of communication, reading scripts, remembering lines, all these things. Then streaming was the complete opposite, where there was no script, there was nothing going on. All you had to go off of was chat, really. And these aren't necessarily scripted, but I have a few notes that I have in front of me always to see what I want to talk about, maybe some bullet points that I want to make sure that I hit on each time, but that's about it. There's nothing really necessarily overtly extra that I'll do for something like this. There's a little bit of setup that requires here and a few editing touches that I do, but it's nothing in comparison to what it was when I first started doing this directing stuff, where I had to like do entire shots and commanding people to do it this way, do it again, but don't do this, but do this time, do that. It was a bunch of that type of stuff, and it was pretty difficult, only because I'll say that having your cast to be your friend and also with no real incentive on money made it so that people would dick around a lot of the time. And I'm not going to be a dickhead and be like, oh, they were just dicking around 90% of the time, because I was also dicking around too. I wasn't also helping, but it definitely made things teeter out and a lot of stuff ended up not going as well. They were good times, and it was an excellent time when it would happen. After that, in between streaming and making videos, I did do a couple of music videos for my brother, which I intermediately did on and off because he has a band. So those were a couple of things that I did individually. Those were things that I haven't done in such a long time, just actually directing people or having a vision for something that isn't just this. This is a little different because, like I said, this is more of a casual thing in comparison. But those types of videos I haven't done in such a long time. It is interesting and also very exciting to possibly dip my toe back into that. I wouldn't mind necessarily to go back into something that requires a little bit more writing, a little bit more directing, and just a little bit more action. Those are skills that I don't necessarily use in some of these videos, but sometimes it's just like, man, I really want to get some like dynamic camera angles and stuff like that I don't really necessarily even have to do for these.
And we're back! Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed, none. Exercises skipped, also none. Got everything in, thankfully. I am feeling pretty good, a little tired, but nothing too crazy. I'm feeling great though, and I am very much looking forward to chilling out for a couple of days. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand. I guess like making old films, my life as a director, I don't know what I'm gonna call this, but it was just a good time. It was good times nonetheless. It all stems back from when I was a kid, when doing things with my brother and his friends, and then we'd record stuff of him, like him and his friends skateboarding and shit like that. And I feel like that was like the beginning of it, and the genesis of things, and then the popularization of things like CKY and Jackass really catapulting those types of things forward into the stratosphere. Then also YouTube also being a massive influence on that. But it is something that, while watching old videos, does make me want to do it again. It's been such a long time just structuring something, trying to make it so it's a cohesive story and editing things the right way, making sure audio is okay. All of these things that are like I don't necessarily care per se on this one. Of course, there have been things that have made this so much simplified, such as the microphone and things like that. But back in the day, all of this stuff was complicated. There was a couple of blueprints, but really hard to follow. 90% of the time, it was like, okay, buy this $2,000 camera to have really good quality, and then this $300 microphone. And I'm like, I'm a broke motherfucker. You think I'm gonna have this shit? So yeah, no, that's not how it worked. It was such a different time. There was a little bit of an innocence to it, of course, because there's always that like yearning to get to a next level or something with it, but it never really took off, and that's fine with me. I'm very okay with that. But it is something that I wouldn't mind doing now, is just like a little bit of a fun project to bring back sometimes. Not live in the nostalgia of, oh man, this might make me big or anything like that. More so along the lines of, I want to make something I'm proud of that is something more in the artistic realm than something like this. Although I could consider this art, but this is a little different. This is more like a journal entry in my mind, but that's a whole other subject in a way, because it's more about the arts. One day I'll talk about the arts. The arts are a very complicated subject, but for now, I just wanted to say that I'm very happy with this possibility coming up, and it's so random too. I was not thinking about this at all, and then all of a sudden it came up, and I was like, it has been quite some time. So it is something that I wanted to talk about, a little bit of my past. I will be delving into more things and topics of my past really this year, but that'll be a different story for a different day. And with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one. This one was more of a random one, but more of a you get to know me a little bit more so, and thus a little bit more story-timey. But please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you've ever made any home videos or videos like that, and just like skit videos or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please stay safe out there. Take care out there, keep it heavy, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!